on in the room. Come on, come on, come on, come on.
Give me
all right.
all my medicine.
Come on, Team Diamond. You gotta sound like an old slave spiritual. Like I just got a cotton sack on my back.
Yes,
Come
sir.
on in the room.
Yeah.
Yeah, come on, y'all. Come on, Diamonds. Come on. Where y'all at? Yeah, sound off. Y'all know. Yeah. Yeah, Team Diamond. Hashtag Team Diamond. Yeah. When the Team Diamonds, y'all mobilize, Beyonce got a beehive. I got the Team Diamond. Yeah, that's what we doing. Okay, listen. So, as y'all following, invite your followers, because I'm sure there are a lot of women that are going to be able to relate to this topic. It's a creative one, and hopefully we can catch up with Sunny from last week to find out how she's doing. Hopefully she has not reverted back. She has pressed forward towards the mark.
Yes, sir.
Of the high calling.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. So listen, as everybody comes in, there's always somebody new that hasn't been here before. Yeah, come on, Diamonds. Get the book. It's free.
I can't see it. You need to move it over.
Okay, yeah. Okay, here. How about we come back here?
There we go.
Is that good?
That's great.
Yeah, the Forbidden Secrets of the Goodie Box, which your father didn't tell you and your mother didn't know. Get that free of charge to help you on your diamond pursuit. You go here, all right, ChristopherReid.org. Download it free. And some of you, I saw last week, you said you were having problems downloading it. Anytime that happens, just email me. I'll send it to you. I'll send you the PDF. I'll send you the Kindle as well. Oh, I got a Diamond of the Week. Okay, she got her shirt. Lady Royalty. I don't know if she's out here watching, but I just wanted to make sure I shouted you out. All right, so listen, let's jump on into it, Lex. Ooh, this crackhead phase, Jesus. This demon of withdrawal. Listen, okay. Let me just say this real quick. All right, when you are in a relationship that ends, okay, we're going to deal with this scenario, all right? You're in a toxic relationship that comes to an end. All right, one of your biggest challenges, ladies, is letting go. All right, that emotional withdrawal. And I very affectionately refer to this as the crackhead phase because there are a lot of parallels, okay, to jonesing, all right, to having the shakes, trying to get that thing off of you. And I will acknowledge this, that it is a lot easier said than done. I'm not going to come out here and say, oh, just get over it. You know what I'm saying? Just say no. That was a popular theme. Nancy Reagan, just say no. Well, oftentimes it's very challenging to just say no when you've spent years with somebody and you're so emotionally involved, right? And it's the most indescribable, intense, aching pain that you have ever had to deal with in your life. Okay, this is the crackhead phase. All right. So now, but how you handle this? Oh, come on, somebody. How you handle this will make or break your relationship success moving forward, and will determine if you revert back. Okay, so there's several situations that I want to deal with, several different scenarios of the crackhead phase. All right. Now, y'all know, ladies. Yes, it is very painful. I come out here, all my diamonds, definitely I love you, care about you. This might not necessarily feel good, all right, but at the same time, it's going to help you out, all right? So the first one that I want to talk about is when you try to still make friends with the crack, okay? You still want to be buddies with the drug. All right, what does that mean? That means that, okay, the relationship, you've broken it off, but now you've reverted into what I would consider a casual user. All right, your philosophy is this, because it's so painful. Okay, it's so painful, this aching, dull feeling. What you do is you play this mind game with yourself and you say, well, you know what? There won't be any harm in us. And I'm not going to even go as far as to say that you're going to try to be friends. I'm not even going to say that you're selling that to yourself. But you're thinking, because here's the thing. Let me throw this in there, ladies. When you cut this off, do you think, or I should say, don't think that he's just going to, hey, just going to let you go. No harm, no foul. Listen, we had a good run. We had some good times. You do you. Y'all wish you the best. And, I'm going to do me. Doesn't happen like that, okay? You're going to get some kind of, because the moment he thinks that you're really done. Oh, come on, somebody. Somebody say done. He is going to reach out. All right. There's going to be a text message. There's going to be a phone call, because we really need to know, ladies, are you done? No, 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 no. Are you really done? Because it is so very intriguing to me and challenging to see if you really are done. All right. And I'm going to challenge you. I am going to test you, because for me now, this has become very exciting. Okay. And if I'm a manipulator, okay, if I'm a manipulator, I really want to try to get back in there. And like I said, because you're dealing with this intense pain, scripture says a little leaven leavens the whole loaf. Okay. It's them little foxes that spoil the vine. So you think that I'm just going to have a little interaction. Oh, just a little bit. That ain't going to hurt nobody. All right. Well, yes, it is, because you're playing mind games with yourself, and you're going to end up right back in the same situation. You're going to end up at the crack house. Okay. You're going to end up, all that. You're right back there. Then you're going to be wondering how in the world, because you know what? When you go back, Lexi, what number do you start at? All over again. You go back to zero.
Back to zero, yeah.
Yeah, you go back to zero. All right. So I think I made that point very clear. All right. Somebody said, don't get me wrong, it hurt, but I kept it moving. Very good. Very good. All right. So the next phase we're talking about, all right, after you just want to try to be a casual user, you know what I'm saying? You still want to stay in there, is you have a relapse. Now, this is the person, okay, who says things like, I've been clean for 60 days. I'm feeling good. I got it out my system. We jogging, we're getting ourselves together. We reestablishing our routine without this person. We're healthy. We're feeling good. All right. And the thing about that, though, is this. It's very deceptive. All right. It's like this. This is the best analogy I can come up with. When you have something and the doctor gives you some antibiotics, and they say, listen, I need you to take all of these. Okay. You're going to start feeling good. Okay. Be not deceived. Okay. You are not there yet. What do people do? They start feeling good. They say, man, I don't know what matter of drug it is, but I'm fine. And you don't necessarily mean to slack off, but you're not as consistent. You're not taking 2 a day. Now you go to 1. Now you go to every other day. And we think that we're good. So what happens in that little window, okay, when you've been clean for 60 days off of this toxic withdrawal situation, you get that text. You get that phone call. Okay, now here's the deal. In this situation, it's not necessarily that you're trying to play a mind game with yourself to say, oh, I can just do this and it's not going to hurt me. No, that's not the perspective that you're coming from after your 60 days clean. Your thing is, I'm okay. You know what? They don't tempt me. I'm so over it. I'm good. So if they come around and they want to have a little interaction. Hey, I'm a Christian. I'm a good person. I don't hold anything against anybody. I'm mature. I don't play them little reindeer games. I'm over it. All right. So you think that you can interact and it's okay. All right. Well, it's like this. It's like the dog still going back to the vomit. All right. Because what you're going to find out very quickly, my dear Diamond, is that you're not there. Okay, you're not whole. All right, and little bit by little bit, little things are going to start happening. Okay, at first it's just maybe a how you doing? All right, hey, I didn't really want nothing. You're looking good. I'm glad to see that things are going well for you. It's cool. I know that you and I didn't work out. You understand what I'm saying? But I always wanted the best for you. You know what I mean? And okay, it's cool. But then the text messages, they become more frequent, and it's a gradual thing. And then maybe one day you get this, hey, if you're not doing anything, I was just thinking, and if it's cool, if we don't, I'm cool. Maybe we could just meet up, get a bite, but if not, it's cool, it's nothing, whatever. Okay, I don't mind. I'm not doing anything. You're not doing anything. Sure, why not? And so now we're starting to reestablish this routine. And now the dangerous thing about reestablishing this routine is if you break from it, oh, come on, somebody say crack now. Somebody say addiction. If you break from it, now it's that feeling of I got to have it. So it's what one of the deacons at my church, he used to say, gradualism. Okay, it's so very, you see, Reverend, listen, you gotta watch the enemy because he's cunning. You know what I'm saying? Now, let me say this for clarity's sake. There are some situations where people change and, whatnot, but most of the time, there's some very strong evidence of that. Because most of y'all, I'm going to say the majority of y'all, your ex ain't worth going back to. And the reason I say that is not necessarily because that they don't have the picture. They just have not changed. They are not, they're the same person. Okay. So you would really be going back to the toxic situation that you left. Okay. So here's the thing. Before you know it, ladies, you're right back in the same situation. Now he starts to do the little things that he was doing before, whether it was jealousy, whether it's being emotionally abusive, whether it's being physically abusive. You start to see little signs, but there again, you're in it. You know what I'm saying? So it's hard for you to break out. All right, now you got to start all over again. And I'm trying to tell you, it is very, very, what's that scripture where it talks about, some of my deeper, well-versed saints would know it. When you sweep your house clean and then, the strong man or whatever, I know I'm jacking it up, goes out and then comes back. And now the thing that you have now is more difficult. Yes, come on, Saint. Come on, help your brother out. Come on, Diamonds. It's 7 times harder than it was before. I'm gonna say it like this, and this may hit home. You ever lose a lot of weight, and then you start to slack off, and you gain a lot more than where you were before, and you're like, how in the world did I do that? Okay, because you've already established. There's already familiarity there. There's already this familiar spirit. There's already this soul tie type of situation. So it's easier. So now you're going to the wall. You know what I'm saying? You're going full throttle. All right. So the last scenario that we want to talk about, and once I get through these, then we'll talk about okay, now what? What do I do? All right. The last one is detox and heal. Oh, come on, somebody say detox. All right. This one is for real. This is the person that says, you know what? I've been clean for 10 years. And you ever wonder why people who, used to be an alcoholic or whatever still say, I'm an alcoholic, but I've been clean for 10 years. And you're like, well, why are you still, relating to yourself as being this thing if you're not and you have been out of it for so long? Okay. Now, as we relate this to relationships, all right, it's very important to realize that you're just one phone call away sometimes from going right back to the thing that you came out of. Okay. Because here's the thing. All right. Most people give up the ghost. If we're looking at coming out of Egypt being bondage, that toxic bad relationship, you look at going into the wilderness. All right. That's the place where you get to really know you. All right. Get to really know you and then break up all that stuff, that had you jacked up. And then you get to really strengthen your relationship with God before you go into the promised land. Most people get stuck right there in the wilderness, going around and around and around and around. And you get right up to, okay, we're going to make it in, but there's giants in the land. There's something that keeps you from going in. But I'm going to tell you this. If any of y'all really make it to the promised land, I'm bringing in for a landing. I don't know who I'm talking to. I'm talking to somebody. Yeah, there we go. We see it, y'all. We see it. If any of y'all really, and it's hard to let you know if you're in the promised land because it's you feel it more than you know. But if you really get into the promised land, the idea, because remember y'all when they were in the wilderness and they said to Moses, they said, listen, man, you got us out here. At least when we was in Egypt, we was eating, You know what I mean? You know, they romanticize this whole slavery bondage situation. But when you get into the promised land, show enough, and Egypt tries to come back in, do you realize that you'll be like, you can't be serious. There's no temptation. There is no, it's such a non-fit that you'll be thinking to yourself, like, I don't even know how I even thought that was okay. I don't even know how I thought that was normal. I don't even know how I thought that was good enough. I don't even know. I'm talking about now after you have the real thing. I'm talking about the promised land. This is the land that this is where you're supposed to be. Because the wilderness ain't it. See, some of y'all are judging Egypt by the wilderness. Well, this ain't so great. You know what I mean? Yeah, we got the pillar, and we got the cloud, and, our sandals don't wear out, and we good. But see, you judging Egypt by the wrong thing. You got to judge. And see, many of y'all don't make it into the promised land. So when you think about them little bitty provisions that you getting in that middle area, don't even compare to the fat grapes. Oh, come on, somebody. Don't compare it to the land that flows with milk and honey. We're talking about relationships, okay? So, ladies, for some of you that settle for that in-between stage and you go back, we're talking about withdrawal. We're talking about how hard it is, how challenging it is, and the fact that some of you allow yourself to be tricked and even trick yourself, okay, and allow yourself to be duped into going back into a dead situation. I'm trying to tell you, if you really hold off and if you really do the work and if you really detox, because let me say this, I'm talking to somebody. Every time I come out here, I know I'm not talking to everybody. I know I'm talking to somebody, okay? But if I'm talking to you, okay, and you know I am, I said something that has resonated with you, all right? You call me, okay? This is why. Because when you call me or you hit me up and we do our free 30-minute consultation or whatever, we're going to find out, because it's one thing to say, yeah, doc, I did that. But why? Why did you do it? Okay. Identifying the why is extremely important. All right. Now, after we identify the why, then you and I, we're going to work together. Okay. Then we're going to move forward to help you overcome the why. And then we're going to move forward to help you break that cycle. Because here's the thing, ladies. Sometimes you really need somebody to hold your hand through this process. It's very, very difficult. And I know I'm not telling y'all anything. Y'all understand how difficult it is. That's not a revelation. Y'all understand the cold sweats of, relationship withdrawal. You understand the dull, aching feeling of relationship withdrawal. You understand that deep sense of loneliness. And here's the thing. I'm going to bring you up on game. You don't miss him. You don't miss him. Here's what you miss. You miss the idea of somebody having your back. You miss the idea of the sense of security. You miss the idea of having companionship. You miss the idea of feeling like somebody cares about me. That's what you miss. Because if you missed him per se, you wouldn't have left us behind. Woo. If it was him that you missed. No, you missed the idea of what you feel he represented.
Wow.
But you romanticized it because he was never really fully that.
Jesus.
It was always almost.
Oh.
It was almost, I could always see the potential of where he could go, because you would get little bits here and there, little droppings, But what I'm telling you is the promised land, that place, the real place of promise is that all day, every day. There's no shadow of turning.
My God.
It's not sometimes on, sometimes off, huh? Who am I talking to?
Me.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Who's experiencing that? All right. Because if you have, and I want to encourage you, because I have so many ladies say to me that, I've just given up. I mean, rainbows and unicorns, as my homegirl Tanya would always say, they don't exist. They don't exist. So I have readjusted my expectations. I've made my expectations more realistic. What does that mean? I've made my expectations more realistic. It means that I've decided to settle.
Yeah.
It means I've decided to settle for what I could get, because I'm getting older and I'm running into these guys. But what you got to understand, ladies, here's my thing is, who's running into the guys? And when I say who, What is it in you that, like the scripture says, what has so easily beset you? What is that thing that you're not aware of that keeps making you stumble over and over and over again? Okay. See, when Lexi come out here, Lexi and I come out here and we do these posts. See, Cheryl got a diamond for her icon. I love it. When Lexi and I come out here and do these posts, these aren't like little sermons. These aren't like little shouting things. You know what I'm saying? They are to make you think. They are to really challenge you. They are really to challenge you so that you do not settle. So that you do not settle. Because I need you, because some of you are praying, please let him lead me. Let me say this. Some of you listen to me right now. You know I've been talking to you, and you know that it's somebody that you haven't talked to in maybe 5, 6, 7 years. And you know if this person was to contact you today, you cannot sit there and say 100% with certainty that you would not be weak and that you would not go back. You have been living off of the grace of God. I thank you that he has not contacted me. You are on the run. That's what you are. You are living on the run. And it's just that he has not reached out to you. Okay? Because your thing is, oh my God, it's just one person. It's just one. I've been with, had a couple of different relationships and whatnot, but this one person. Because let me bring you up on a little military, concept. If you're going to attack your enemy, you're always going to try to attack your enemy at their weakest point. Why would I try to attack somebody where they have all their troops, all their resources? No. I'm going to find where you have that little gap. Okay, and I'm going to go there. All right. So what is that for you? What does that person know is your vulnerable place? Is it a certain name? Is it a certain thing that, a gift that they could give you? Is it a certain way that they look at you? Is it just them? They know. But here's the thing. When you get healed and when you get whole, there are no more weak spots. There's no place that they can even think about attacking that would make you stumble. I don't care where they attack. Does that make sense, Lexi? Am I,
No, that makes sense.
Okay, all right. I mean, you can chime in whenever you want to. So here's what here's what I'm gonna say, ladies. All right, as you move forward, and if you are in this phase right now, the best thing you can do. Because let me say this. Initially, early on, you're going to be very vulnerable. It's going to be very hard, and that's why I said for a lot of people, you got to have that sense of accountability. There are some people that can just white knuckle it up and just few and far between. You know what I mean? Because you never know when you're going to get that call. You never know when there's going to be that. That I ain't gonna say attack, but just when they're gonna come along, block. A lot of you are saying you block. You should block, but here's the deal with blocking. If you do block, be fully committed. Don't block and then, still try to see what they're doing over here. Like, I blocked your phone calls so you can't contact me, but I'm still stalking you on Facebook.
Watch it. Come on.
You know what I mean?
Come on.
So, because, we call them relationship drive-bys, right? So, or we call them Facebook drive-bys. If you're still out there stalking, trying to see what they're doing, like, okay, I cut off their ability to get to me, or some of you'll go check your friends, hey, let me see what, come on, let's not play the games with ourselves. Y'all know we got ways of trying to, but if you're going to go cold turkey, go cold turkey. But you know what? A lot of y'all are saying block, but do you know how hard it is for some people just to do that?
That's right.
Because to block means you already have to be at a certain level of commitment. You really you have to be at a certain point of letting it go. And a lot of people just aren't there. They're really not. I mean, ain't no use in lying to yourself. You're not strong enough just to even block. Because I've asked people, okay, do you feel comfortable blocking them? Are you willing to do that? No, not yet. Not right now. Okay, so don't play games with yourself. And many of you have to get to that place. If we're using, drug and addiction terminology, you have to hit rock bottom. Okay, many of you who may be in this situation, you might not have hit rock bottom yet. You may still want to, run down the street with a couple TVs and, emotionally. You know what I mean? I mean, you're still jonesing a little bit, and you find it very difficult. What if you go to the same church? That's a good one. Reverend, that's a good one. That's a real good one. Okay, here's the thing. If you go to the same church, you have to make a decision. Either you're going to go to a different service, okay, because my thing is this. If you see them, you're still playing mind games with yourself. You're not strong enough to see them. Not early on. You're really not. So now, what if somebody says, but wait a minute. Why do I have to be the one to change my life? Why do I have to inconvenience myself? Well, because you should love yourself enough to do whatever you need to do to get free. Okay, so if that means that you have to go to a different service, most churches now have, 2, sometimes even 3 services. Do that. For some of you, maybe you go to a different church. And I'm like, oh my God, listen, man, come on, seriously. You got to do what you got to do. Or how about this? Stay stuck. I mean, seriously, I ain't saying you got to go to a different church forever, but at some point you have to make a decision about what's important. For the people, my clients that I work with, and some of the things that I ask them to do, I mean, you never know what I'm going to ask them to do, whatever the Holy Spirit tells me. And I'm like, okay, this is what you need to do. And, so I get a lot of, no, okay, why? Hey, listen, okay? Either you want to get free or you don't, So, hey, is Sunny out here? I just wanted to check on her, see how she was doing. A lot of y'all gave Sunny a lot of love last week. And I was just trying to see if maybe she was, doing okay, because she's a great candidate for this whole crackhead thing that we're talking about, because she was saying, listen, yes, Doc, I thank God for this word, and I love what y'all doing out here this evening, and I praise God for which I don't know if she sounds like that, but I've heard that before, and it's so easy just to go on back. Does anybody else have a question?
I want you to talk more about how when you go back. Hold on. What's up, y'all? Okay, so I've been through this a couple of times. Chris and I have had, we call it a tour duty, where, I've had to let go. And it is the hardest thing in the world to do that. I have done, what's up, y'all? I have done drive-bys. I have stalked on Facebook. I have looked at what they're doing on IG just to catch up with their life, even though I'm not talking to them anymore. Still want to see what they're doing. And Chris explained that to me. He said, you're torturing yourself. I said, what's wrong with that? Not stalk, I'm just using that word, but, you do your Facebook drive-by, just see what's going on. I can admit that. And I'm torturing because he said, you're torturing yourself. And I said, I am. But I couldn't stop. And I may go for 2 days and not do it. And then I'd have to do it again because it'd be calling me. I just need to know where they are, what they're doing. And when I look back, it hurt me. I was hurting myself because either I really wasn't done, I wasn't mad enough, I wasn't tired enough, and their life always looks better on social media than it is in real life. Who's going to portray their life on social media like it's whack? No. Everybody on social media, their bills are paid. Everybody on social media, they got the best car, they got the best house, they got the best family, they got the best, they eating the best food, they taking the best vacations, they got the best job, they got the most money, they got the best clothes, they go to the best church, they got the best pastor. Everybody on social media is balling, nigga. Everybody is doing good on social media. Ain't nobody doing bad. Everybody's vacationing. Their vacations is paid for. They living good. They eating red lobsters. Everybody's doing good. And so I'm fooling myself because when we were together, I knew what the real deal was. But on social media, I'm starting to believe the hype. So my mind is messed up. So as we did more tours of duty, that wasn't my first time at the rodeo. This has happened when I broke up with guys. That's just what I do. I go see what they're doing. But I realized as I talked to Chris is that I'm hurting myself. I don't do that no more. If I'm done, I need to be done. I don't need to know what you're doing. I don't need to know where you are. I don't need to know who you with. I don't need to know if you're making money. I don't need to know if you have friends. I don't need to know if you're going out and having a drink. I don't need to know if you're getting more spiritual. I don't need to know if you're working out. I don't need to know if you're going to concerts. I don't need to know anything about what you. I don't need to know if you're going to family reunions. I don't need to know what you're doing because I don't care. That's when you're really done. And if it's calling you and calling you and calling you, listen to your girl. I've made the mistakes. Chris has walked with me through every tour of duty. Listen to me. If it's calling you in the middle of the night like it was calling me, do yourself a service and don't look. If there's a way to block yourself to save you from you, do it. Block it to the point where you can't go back. Because all you're going to do is hurt yourself. Everything's going to look like things got better without you. So we got a bunch of keyboard cowboys on here that you swearing to God that you the hardest, you the bestest ever did it, you the strongest.
Oh God.
And that you walked out of the relationship, your chest is all high. You got a new bra, you got some new, you got some new panties, you got a new outfit, you got some new hair, you got some bundles, you bundled up, you got a new perfume, and you don't care anymore. It's a bunch of keyboard cowboys.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I ain't talking to you because obviously you got it all together and you better than me. I'm talking to the real people that love somebody for real and invested something in that relationship for real. I'm talking about somebody you put your heart into it, you put your soul into it, and if you think about it too long, you'll start crying right now. I'm talking to that person right now. That if you think about it too long, you'll bust out crying right now because of the hell that you feel when you broke up. You didn't want to break up, but you knew that this nigga was I love what you said. Always, almost. That'll preach. Yay! Oh, God, that'll preach. Always, almost. Nigga, I can't do it no more. I can't waste another year of my life on always, almost. I can't do it. I gotta. I know this sounds cliche, and I know it sounds like a woman's movement and all that. I ain't into that. I like cooking food and getting waited on and a nigga rubbing my feet and checking out the trash. I love that. I'm not a feminist by any means, and I ain't trying to, do all this. But I'm telling you right now, you better love yourself. You better love yourself. You better figure it out. And yeah, you may have gained a little weight along the way, but you better figure it out, and you better lose it. You better start feeling good about yourself. I don't know what you got to do, but you better get a hold of yourself. You hear me? Because it's not worth it. Stalking their IG page? Stop. Please stop. You're only hurting you. You're only hurting yourself. And if you let that nigga come back and smash, you hurting you. You're going to feel all the same feelings. Now, I'm talking to the real ones. I ain't talking about to the super saved. I ain't talking to you. I ain't talking to you because you're too super saved and you can't relate when you're falling and that thing is good and you end up and you want to smash. Let me tell you something. I'm talking to somebody. I ain't talking to the super saints. I ain't talking to you.
Somebody, Reverend.
I'm talking to somebody that's going through a hard time, and when that nigga call you, you shake because he knew how to put it down. I'm talking to you. Don't do it. It's not worth it. Because after it's over, you still empty. You still don't have nothing. And he's still always almost. Nothing gets better. Chris didn't say you could never go back. All he's saying is, if the nigga don't change, why you keep going back? It's not worth it. So you smash. So he break your back down. Big deal. So what? Some of y'all too old for that. Getting whipped. You ain't never been whipped before? Some of y'all too old for that. I'm talking to somebody. You got to grow up sometime. Some of y'all too old for that. So you got low self-esteem, so you can keep going back? No, sir. No, sir. Can't do it. Can't do it. Not going to do it. Don't let the nigga come back and smash. Let it go. Do not, I repeat, do not check the IG. Do not check the Facebook. Do not, because when I tell you, somebody was typing on here. I hope I'm helping somebody. Somebody was typing on here and said, I like to keep my energy clean. I don't know who that was, but I'm going to tell you right now, I feel you. Because when you keep that energy clean, it gives, go on now, go on. We're talking grown stuff. Go on. I'll wait till he leaves the room. Hurry up, Mike. Beat it. When you keep your energy clean, it allows the right person to show up. Hear me clearly, and I'm going to say this, and I'm going to get off of it. And I hope I'm helping somebody. When you still holding on to the past, hear me, and you're not fully done, you think the spirit don't know? You think you fooling somebody? Who you think you fooling? When you're really not done, do you think that God is going to send you the right person when you still uber all in and you haven't fully committed to letting go? You still stalking. You still looking at Facebook. You still on Twitter. You still seeing what they doing on IG. Do you think that the God who loves you so much that made heaven and earth, do you actually think he's going to send you what you really, really need? You know why he won't? Because you won't recognize it and you won't appreciate it. Your father wouldn't do you like that. He gonna wait. And the thing about God is, like Chris said, he'll leave you in the wilderness until you get it. I wish God wouldn't allow us to do that. Sometimes I wish he would just pick us up and stop the pattern, but he's not gonna do it. He's gonna wait until you've had enough. My mother always told me, when you're done, when you've had enough, you'll stop. My mother always used to tell me that would make me mad. When you've had enough, you'll stop. That's all she would say. When you've had enough, dear, you'll stop. And she's right. When I finally got tired, folks say when you're sick and tired of being sick and tired. No, when you really get there, because some of y'all ain't there. Y'all talking, y'all popping off at the mouth, but you really ain't there.
They're not there.
Because when you're there, nothing they do will make you go back. When you're there, my pastor always said, you know when you're done with somebody when you don't talk about them no more. Hello? I'm talking to somebody. When they're not, my pastor said, rest in peace, when they out your mouth. If you're still talking to your girlfriend about that nigga, then you're not done. Done sounds like this. I'm going to say it again. Done sounds like this. I don't have the conversation anymore. I don't talk about it. I'm cool. And you don't get emotional about it. You don't even get mad. No, man, I'm cool. I'm cool on that. I don't even talk about that no more. I'm cool. That's done. That's done. Silence. And silence means, done means, I don't go look at what they're doing. Because I got to get me together. Because there's a reason why, as Chris said, I keep falling into this pattern. Why I keep picking the same niggas all the time. Why I keep picking these almost done niggas. What's wrong with me? Why am I accepting these almost done niggas all the time? Who does that? Me. That's who does that. Me. I do it. Almost done. Almost there. Potential. All that. That would be me. That's me. But you know what? We ain't doing this. Share this broadcast. That's all I'm saying. So you got to ask yourself. That's what Chris was saying when he said, you got to take the time. And I know it sounds cliche, but I promise you, ladies, if you don't do it, you're going to keep doing it and keep doing it and keep doing it over and over, picking the same type of niggas. It's a different look, but the result is the same. Almost, just always almost. I almost got it together.
Said, I'm the common denominator. That's right.
What's wrong with this picture? I'm the common denominator to this whole problem. Well, guess what? Lexi switched it up because I'm tired of picking the same dudes. I'm tired. I don't know about you or what you come to do, but I come to change. I don't know what you come to do, but I can't fall for the banana in the tailpipe. Now, woman, I ain't got another mistake to make. I ain't got it. I've been married before. I can't do this again and get it wrong. I can't afford it. I don't know about y'all. I got a kid. Some of y'all young. Y'all just starting out. You're 19. And, I ain't 19. But those of you, I saw a few of y'all on the scope. You said, I've been divorced. I got a kid. This, that, and the third or whatever. We can't afford another mistake. We can't afford that on our record. Another notch in the bedpost. Some of y'all's body count is too high. Your body count is too high. We got to keep the body count low. We got to keep the body count low. No more mistakes. No more notches. No more paperwork down at the county. We making too many mistakes. Yeah, Tara. You got a 17-year-old daughter that's watching and looking. But you know what? We as parents, we're just people and we make mistakes. But we got to move on and we got to learn from it. And we can't keep making it. I just don't want to be the girl that keeps making the same doggone mistakes over and over. I can't do it. That's why we do these relationships. I don't have that. I can't make another mistake. Yo, I can't do it. I don't know what you going to do. Somebody said, my son is 21, daughter 16. Exactly. Can't do it. We got to change. We got to switch it up. So, Tara, you kept asking, well, what do I do? What do I do? What? Nothing. What do I do? What do I do to break the withdrawals? Nothing. What did Ray Charles do? He sat in the bed and shook. Hello? Sometimes you got to sit in the bed and you got to hold yourself and you got to cry. I did. Who am I talking to? Sometimes you got to take the L. And you got to sit up there and you got to take it and cry and get fat a little bit and eat some Haagen-Dazs and eat some pizza and cry some more and call Chris and get on the phone with him and just shake and shit. But you best not pick up that doggone phone. Almost cussed. You better not pick up the phone. You better not go on Instagram. Do everything but that. That's what you do. Cry. That's all right. Pray. One time I slid down a wall and I just said, God, what is this? And I couldn't catch my breath. It hurt so bad. It felt like somebody had their hand around my heart and was just doing this to my heart. I said, God, I just need you to help me. I did all that, but I didn't call. I did all that, but I wasn't on Instagram. I did all that, but I wasn't on Facebook. And I didn't lose nothing. I didn't lose no cool points because I cried. And I miss them so bad. I miss them so bad. But guess what? It's best for me to go through this. Sometimes you gotta cry and it's gotta be painful so your butt won't go back and almost cuss. It's gotta be painful. You gotta go through a brutal beating sometimes so you don't go back. So you can remember the pain. So you can say, you know what? I ain't going through this no more. God allows it to be hard sometimes so you can feel it, so you'll stop. Because you won't stop. It has to be a brutal beating. That's the word. A pastor preached on that. Sometimes God allows you to have a brutal beating so you can feel that thing. So I'll never forget what I just went through. I'll never forget. I'll never forget it. I'll be an old woman. I will be an old woman. My grandchildren running around here talking about mama. I'll be, yeah, baby, but I'll never forget it. And I'll be able to tell my granddaughter or somebody how bad it was and how bad that hurt. I'm telling you, you better get the lesson. Ladies, you ain't got a bunch of time to be sitting up in the wilderness looking crazy.
But you know what, Lex? Sometimes
I'm through. Hold on, Chris. Let me send it back to you. Okay. Because sometimes it takes a minute for the thing to turn around.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if it's turned around yet, but and everything you said was so freaking amazing. But here's the thing: sometimes you do what you need to do to come out, but you don't do what you need to do to go in. So, ladies, you cry, you shake, and you scared, and that's necessary. You know, you go through the withdrawal, but how do you move forward from there? You know, because there's something still that calls you to do or enter into that situation or that mistake, okay, that relationship. All right, so you have to also figure out what that is so that you don't repeat that again. That's the going around the mountain that we talked about, okay? And here's another thing. We talked about not doing the Facebook drive-bys and, you know, all that kind of stuff. You know, in scripture we talked about God wouldn't even let them take any of the enemy's spoil. He said, I want you to destroy everything.
That's right.
So sometimes, you know what, y'all may not talk to the person, but y'all may talk to people associated with them.
My God.
Sometimes you have to sever everything.
Huh?
Sometimes you have to separate yourself from cousins. Sometimes you have to separate yourself from, you know, their friends and, you know, different. I'm not saying, but because those connections to those individuals,
that's right.
You know what, their mama called me a lot of times and I'll just talk to their mama. Well, you might not be able to talk to their mama for a while.
Nope.
Well, his sister, you know what I'm saying, we good friends and, you know, sometimes, well, you might have to tell the sister, I'm going to need a minute.
Yep.
Because that's a gateway. That can be a gateway to them staying around, that familiar spirit, that soul tie staying around, okay, just to allow enough time for that person to reconnect with you.
My God.
All right. So what relationships, okay, maybe you're close to one of their kids. All right. Maybe you and one of the kids had a close relationship, but at the same time, maybe it's still too sensitive. It's still too new. It's still a gateway. Okay, what gateways are you allowing? Social media ain't the only gateway. Talking to them directly is not the only gateway. All right. What things are you still holding on to? It could be paraphernalia. It could be photos. It could be all kind of things that are still allowing you to keep that connection. Yeah, you cried and you shaked and all that, but you still got his jersey over at the house. You still got the pictures of when y'all did this. You still got all that. I'm talking about like when God said you take all the spoils, you take everything and you get totally rid of it. Gone.
Right. That's right.
That's how you know that you are really committed to severing this soul tie. And then you work on doing what you need to do. You hear me talk about all the time about being guarded, about being a doormat, about being a CEO. Which one of those scenarios do you fit into? I mean, I know so many of you are so new, y'all don't even know what I'm talking about those different type of women, but you have to find out which one are you, what has caused you to do this, and then work on correcting that. Like if it's, you contact me, whatever. Some people can do the cold sweats and sit there and do the Ray Charles and just, some people need the 12 steps. Some people need to go to the group. Some people need the accountability. There's not just one right way to do it, but you need to figure out which way for you. Or you'll be 50, 60, trying to figure it out. You'll be saying, I never had good relationship. I've never really fully been loved. I've never experienced, you know what I'm saying, somebody putting me first. All right. You need to figure it out. You need to make the hard decision. Everything that Lexi was saying was on point. Everything she said, she's saying from experience. She has run the full gamut from Egypt to the promised land. Okay, and she has a frame of reference for each one of it. So when y'all listen to this replay, and I hope y'all play it 1,000,000 times, I hope you send it to your friends, for the ones that ain't here, because this is straight talk, and that's what we want this to be. We don't want this to be no pie in the sky. Like she said, for some of y'all, he put it down so tough. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm talking about? It was so crazy. The physical chemistry was so off the chain. You're like, listen, I know we don't get along. I know that, but I've never connected with anybody like that physically. It's almost spiritual. It's so intense. You know what I mean? It's like my anatomy rejects everything else. It's like it yearns for that. But I'm trying to tell you, okay, you can put yourself on the auction block for that if you want to.
Yes,
but
sir.
I'm trying to tell you, it is not worth it.
No,
okay?
sir.
Because what does it benefit you to gain the world, so to speak? If that is the world, and lose everything else, it's not worth it. And you can have all of that with somebody who loves your socks off no matter what. Somebody that'll be willing to take care of you, all right, when you're 100 years old.
That's
all right?
right.
And that is not going to be the main thing. You think y'all going to, I know Viagra is tough, but, I don't know what you're going to be doing at 120.
That's right.
You're going to need something that's really connecting you, something stronger than you want to be somebody. You want to be friends with somebody.
That's
straight
right.
up.
That's right.
Like you can just sit here on the couch, laugh, have a good time, and it feel like the most intimate, sexual, crazy experience that we've ever had. And all we've done is just talk and share and just be in each other's presence. That's what you need. But if many of you have never had that, you may not really believe it exists. That is the end goal. So when we get out here, we want you to be healed for real.
Yeah.
Not just a temporary shouting, not just a temporary, you know what I'm saying? I just wanted to make sure, ladies, that you understand once you get finished, okay, once you get finished shaking, because I know a lot of y'all here are still like, now what? Now what? Now what? I've done that, but now what? Because you can get stuck in the wilderness. You can get stuck out there and still not make it in. And God is not just going to come out here, pick you up and drop you down in the promised land. There's something that you have to do. You have to take responsibility.
That's right.
Okay. God, it will not override your will, ladies. That's the one thing that he has given us, a will. All right. And if you don't make the decision, if you don't make the tough decisions, then you're going to continue to go around and around, and you're going to continue to watch everybody else enter in. Okay, there's some people who made the journey but still didn't enter in, weren't allowed to enter in. He had waited 40 years for all the old mindsets to die off because he didn't want it. That old mindset could not exist in the new promised land. You're not going to be able to take that old you into a new situation. Like Lexi said, with the right guy come around, you're not even in a position of where you can even appreciate it. He'll end up leaving you.
That's right.
He will end up dropping you like a bad habit and go on to somebody else. Okay, it's not to say that you're the most horrible person, but you have not figured out what has caused you, like I said, to be attracted to Egypt to begin with. All right, to the bad situation, to the guy that treated you like crap, to the guy who was mentally, physically, emotionally abusive to you. All right, so don't just come out, but make sure that you enter in as well. And that's where the hard work has to be done on you. All right. And it's very challenging. Everybody wants to believe that they're wonderful, and everybody wants to believe. And I know for a lot of women, sometimes it's easier to throw guys up under the bus because guys make so many, bad decisions, and some guys are so awful and so horrible. But a lot of times, baby girl, it's you. And I know that's a tough one to swallow, but a lot of times that is you. But it's best to go ahead and swallow that pill, make the change, okay, and then go on in. Because Lex, you had to make some changes, okay?
I had to make a lot of changes.
Yeah, where you are now, you had to make some changes to be experiencing what you're experiencing right now. You had to take the edge off of some things, okay? Yep. You had to pull back on some things in order to be able to experience that. That's all right? Somebody said, I brought baggage into the relationship. 99.9% of people bring baggage into relationships. And our society breeds that. Just be a serial dater. Oh, that didn't work out? Just exchange it and get you a new one. It's like shoes. Oh, these are a little too big. Okay. Yeah, well, we'll bring you out another pair. Okay. And we got them in 12 different colors. Which one do you want? Okay. And you don't realize that these jacked up shoes are, got your feet messed up. They look pretty, but you got bunions and all kind of stuff because, you try. No, them don't fit your feet. You need to correct this. Maybe you'll be wearing orthopedics, but at least your feet will feel good. Okay. So Lexi, listen, go ahead.
Somebody wrote, I'm in shutdown mode. It hurts so bad. I'm in shutdown mode. I don't want to date anybody else. Blah, 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 blah. Well, again, we're going back to taking the time, getting yourself together. Maybe there's some things that you don't feel good about yourself about, or there's some things that you don't feel good about concerning yourself, and you need to fix that. Well, you need to take some time and fix that. I don't know how much time that takes, but you need to work on you. And, you know, I'm a big fan of therapy. I've talked about that before. Some of y'all need to go to therapy. Some of y'all haven't worked out issues. I'm going to say it again. I'm a big fan of therapy. The heart stopped because niggas don't want to talk about therapy. No, they want to keep dealing with the same stuff that they're dealing with. And you're getting older, baby. And you're still walking around with the same foolishness. But you haven't worked on it. For real. All you've done is you said, well, I'll take your advice and I ain't going to call him and I ain't going to look at Facebook and I ain't going to look at Instagram. But you still got issues that you haven't talked to anybody. I ain't talking about talk to your best friend that ain't no better than you and don't know no more than you do. I'm talking about a counselor that can go back to childhood, to past relationships. A lot of y'all been married before. And you were saying, well, how do I deal, you know, my husband or my ex or my baby daddy? How do I deal with that? How do I move on from that? All the same things apply. If it ain't dealing with your kid, you don't deal. If it ain't dealing with your child, you don't deal. God will give you what you need to get through it. You think he won't when he will? But you got to pray about it. You got to want it. Another thing. To the person that said, I'm in shutdown mode, I don't even want to date no more. Let's not be extreme, shall we? Let's not go all the way left, because that's just where the enemy wants you. Bitter, hurt, and I'm just not going to try no more. Well, child of God, that's no longer faith. That falls right in the line of, ain't no good men out here. They all gay, they all in jail, and they all got about 10 kids. The devil's a liar. I said the devil's a liar. And until you begin to speak faith, I'm going to say it again. Until you begin to speak faith over that thing, all y'all speak faith over is healing of the body. All y'all speak faith over is getting a new car. All you speak faith over is getting a new house. All you speak faith over is a promotion on your job. You're not going to speak faith over your heart. That don't even make any sense. That doesn't even make any sense. Love is one of the greatest things in the world, but you ain't going to believe God for it? Like God ain't going to give it to you? Like you don't deserve it? You ain't going to trust God with your heart? You don't think he knows what you need? But there's some things that you got to fix. And then you got to trust God for this too. You can't just trust God for everything else, but then you think that you're alone on this. You're not. He wants you to be successful in love, but the world and the enemy is going to make you think that it doesn't exist. And that's the biggest lie of all. What is the saying that they say? Is that the biggest trick of the devil is to make people think he doesn't exist. Well, one of the biggest tricks of the enemy, another big one, is to make you think that real love don't exist. And that there's not real men out here that can actually give a damn. They're out here. And they do care. And they do want a real woman. There's some men on this scope that's saying, well, yeah, I said it. I'm good. I'm good. My salvation ain't in question. I'm good. But there's some real men out here that God has in the earth that wants a good woman.
A lot of them.
Y'all better get a hold to this thing and walk it out, or you're going to be lost. Or you're going to go through the rest of your life. Now, I'm sick of you saying sex. Now, you're doing too much. We tried to help you, but you're doing too much. You just lost. You perverted. But what I'm trying to tell you is there are real men out here. I'm done. I ain't going to talk about it no more. They're out here. But you got to have faith. Some of y'all have lost your faith completely in your God concerning your heart. And that's unfortunate. And we're here tonight to tell you, get your dreams off the shelf and trust God again. Give him another shot. Because let me tell you something. This wasn't God's fault, the reason why it didn't work out. So why are you blaming him? Why do you think he can't help? It wasn't his fault that it didn't work out in the first place. Whose fault was it? You probably jumped too soon. You probably did too much. You probably went too far. You probably didn't wait on his voice. Or, like me in one situation, you heard his voice, but you did it anyway.
That's a big one.
Some of y'all heard God's voice, and you did what you wanted to do anyway, because you had to have it so bad.
Yep, bingo.
So, my question is, when you going to trust God again? And say, some of y'all need to repent. God, I'm sorry. I didn't listen. I did too much. I was over the top. And I trust you now. And now I'm going to listen, because this brutal beating that I'm getting right now, it feels like somebody took my heart out of my chest and chopped it up and served it to me. And God and God is going, oh, are you ready now? You want to listen now? Because I'm trying to tell you right now, there is nothing, and I've said this to y'all before, there is nothing that God is that he doesn't have. He's not in lack of anything. You better stop listening to those statistics that tell you that there ain't no men out here, because they're out here.
Somebody's got a good question about
yes.
it. You've been heartbroken so many times. You see that one?
You want to address it?
I didn't read all of it. Now, you said if you've been heartbroken so many times, how do you something? If somebody else saw it, repeat it. I'm sure you've addressed it, but
again, that goes back, if it's been broken so many times, that got to do with you.
Yeah,
like
if your heart's exactly, if your heart's been broken that many times, what are you doing that's allowing it to get broke that many times? Okay, we talked about generational curses before. A lot of you have to find out what is it that's causing you to do this. Okay, this is something that's going through your bloodline. This is something, we'll just say, for example, for a lot of the CEO women. Okay, you were like, strong women are running my family, and that's just what we do. That's just, my mom used to talk to my daddy in the old kind of way. That's just the example I had. Well, now that is your story, and now you got this very strong masculine, take charge type of attitude, and it's destroying your relationship. Some of you, as far as a doormat, you watch your grandmother and your mother, get walked on, and now you're getting walked on, and you don't know what to do to correct it or change it. Some of you, y'all quick to leave a relationship. I mean, if you even look the wrong way, you guard it. You walk away with the quickness. Okay, all of those are the same thing. All right, all of those have fear, at the root of them. All right, and God is not giving you the spirit of fear. Why are you allowing it to dictate and control your life and ruin your relationships? All right, Lexi talked about the enemy. The enemy comes to kill, your hopes, steal your dreams, all right, and destroy, anything that would allow you to enter into the promise that God has for you. Don't allow him to do it. Don't fall for the banana in the tailpipe. Do something, okay, and make a change. But here's the thing. I mean, we can say the same thing a million different ways, but at the end of the day, it really comes down to a choice that you have to be made. And it's really a sense of readiness. A lot of what we're talking about is about timing. Somebody we're talking to right now is ready. And there are a lot of people who are not ready, okay? And that's okay. So the thing for us to do is we're going to continue to have the same message. We're going to continue to come out here and talk about different topics that are relevant as far as relationships. And when it's your time, when you are ready, okay, because somebody is in a relationship right now, you think it's a wonderful, blah, 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 blah. You might find out he's been cheating on you for the last 2 years tomorrow. Okay, I don't wish that on anybody, but that may be a reality. Next week, guess what? You'll be ready. Okay, for something different. All right. And if that is the case, so be it. All right. So hopefully we have helped somebody. Like I said, I always say, go to the website, start here, get this free book. The Forbidden Secrets of the Goodie Box, which your father didn't tell you, that your mother didn't know. A lot of great information in here. All right. Here's the website, ChristopherReid.org. All right. If you have problems downloading the book, email me. I'll get it to you. no problem. Follow me. Okay. I'm always out here doing these scopes every week whenever Lexi is like not busy traveling the world. What else, Lex? Oh, get a T-shirt. You know, so many of you have bought the T-shirt. You know, I haven't said much about, you know, the diamonds as much. Okay, get that. Yeah, go to the website if you like that. And now I think Periscope saves the videos now. Lex?
I don't know.
Well, if they do, just go out there, and if you go back through the videos, if you can see Lexi's videos, just go back and look at the old ones. Also, if any of you have seen, I've done this thing called Tales from the Hood Bible Stories. Go check that out. It's a contemporary spin. I got a creative, crazy mind. So go to my YouTube page. Or even my Facebook fan page, check out the Tales from the Hood Bible Stories. I got Jesus, Andrew, and Peter out there, and then I got Levi out there. So check it out. Tell me what you think. Good, bad, or otherwise, it doesn't matter to me. I love to hear your feedback. And hopefully we said something that, you know, has helped somebody today. And if there are other topics that you want us to talk about, you know, let us know, and we can address it. Yes, Periscope does say the videos. Okay. All right, Lex.
They've been giving us topics for the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, that's why we talked about this one today, is because, you know, y'all said, oh, what do you do, you know, when you're trying to get over somebody? So that's why we talked about this one. So what's the cheat? Oh, shoot, that was a good one. I missed it. Will there be a part 2 on the book? You know what? I hope so.
Hold on. Miss Pink. You know I love you, right?
Uh-oh. Trouble.
But you got to stop. You got to stop. You're saved. You know God. And the funny thing about it is you already know that what you're doing is messed up. You've been writing all day, baby. I'm a runner. We already know what your problem is. So why don't you stop?
Let's get it together.
Stop. And just ask God to show you who you should run from and who you shouldn't.
I gotta revisit the whole.
Stop running from everybody.
There are a lot of women out here. I talked to them and I said, well, you know when I say I don't know. So we dealt with that and we talked about that, but a lot of new women don't have any idea what I'm talking about. So maybe we need to address that, because if she's talking about being a runner, but yes, you know you're a runner, Miss Pink. So you need to, you should hit me up so we can, you know, help point you in the right direction.
Love you, girl.
Love
you, girl. Love you, Miss Pink.
Love you, boo boo. Yeah, all of that.
We out.
Okay.
Say bye, Chris.
Oh, night.
Okay, bye, everybody. No, bright eyes, no music. All right, we out.